today I am going to talk about this strange place that I'm in. And this is regarding like my life. So, um, in my community, there's a willingness, and there has always been this like extra willingness from Black men to um, covet, protect, and like I guess provide for those who either are in our community but have a closer proximity to whiteness or those who are just white. And so, like, we've had conversations about this, but that does cause trauma, okay? So, like, me having to experience that from a lot of Black men in my family and also Black men just, before I found someone that was very different from that. Um, it causes trauma, especially if you've dealt with like abuse and like the people that are supposed to protect you, their attitude is like, well, you did something to cause it, and there's no like, I apologize for this, I apologize for that. It's just like, uh, you know, the attitude, the air in the room, the energy is like, this is why you need to cover this up. This is why you need to act this way. This is why um, whatever. It's just like we're always accountable. Notably, Black women tend to be always the ones that have to be held accountable, and anytime we're violated or exploited, it's we did it like somehow. And so when that causes trauma, um, especially for people who are a little bit more intelligent, like we detach. We don't trauma bond. It's very destructive to do that. That's more of a lower intelligent thing. Black women who are more intelligent tend to detach and be quite indifferent to the energies and the people that are very much like our abusers, which makes sense. In any other world concerning any other group of people, it wouldn't be seen as mental illness. But when it comes to us, because we're not aggressive, because we are detached, because we are avoidant, it's a mental illness. It's not softness. It's not, modesty. It's not um, self preservation. All those things are applied to individuals that have a close proximity to whiteness. For us, it's just like, oh, there's something wrong with her. Again, we haven't done anything about the reality that normal people who are who are a little bit more higher functioning or more intellectual will detach from energies in people that are like their abusers, and that is a normal response. Like, it makes sense, right? But um, when you are indifferent and when you are a bit avoidant as a Black woman, you are deemed as somebody with mental illness, when you more than likely are just somebody that has PTSD from a traumatic experience, which perfectly understandable and normal and has nothing to do with anything you may have inherited, or that you may be suffering from necessarily, that's out of your control. um it's just like, uh we all have trauma, everyone, not just like Black women, but we're the ones that are screened more, scrutinized more for a proper response to trauma and abuse. And I think that that is having to do with the fact that when we are indifferent towards like abusers, and when we are detached from energies and entities, that is a breeding ground for misogyny. Okay, when we detach from that, we don't want no parts of it. When we are a bit avoidant towards those people that have these particular preconceived notions and attitudes, um, we are making these people uh, be accountable for their hatred towards us when we respond that way, which is a good thing. But that's why it's like, oh, there's something wrong with her, because there can't be something wrong with the system that's racist, right? So like that is a thing that we haven't really addressed. And it's a thing that I deal with because I can be quite avoidant and I am quite indifferent because I have dealt with trauma and I have dealt with abuse. Um, and so I've dealt with people who are like, yeah, there's something wrong with her. Yeah, she's mentally ill. And I've gotten to a place where I've gone to therapists and I've gone to psychologists and I'm like, hey, like, uh, I I believe because all of these people around me are saying that there's something off with me. I know that I'm a bit avoidant. I believe that I have this and I have that. And they screen me and they're like, this is what you have. And then I go to the next person and the next person because you got to do that. You have to do that as a person of color because people will not take you seriously. So you have to kind of push and push and push. But after a while, if your healthcare providers are telling you the same thing, and in my case, it's ADHD, PTSD, and anxiety. That's what I have. Um, not hearing things, I'm not seeing things, I'm not in my own realm that popped out of the blue and I'm in a whole nother place. I'm just avoiding the bullshit that I have had to deal with in this really fucked up place. That's it, and it's not, I'm not crazy. I just um have it within me to know what to not be a part of. And I think, and we have been kind of like, at least our mothers, right, our mothers, our grandmothers are kind of pushed to hold on.